The scenery outside reminds me of my pride, reminds me of my will. At the windowsill, I sit and see the grays. The children, they all play and laugh amongst themselves. Somehow remind me of myself on the merry-go-round.
So the main problem I have with Zelda 2.0 is that every time I'm not streaming or I'm not able to get on and make a video, that's when it decides to pump. Well, I have got you now, you sumbitch. Anyway, yeah. So, all right, let me take you through a couple things, right? I don't think you can see my pointer, but I don't know what I can do. Anyway, so you see these two, I'll put it in the center of the screen. All right, these two huge green candles. This was last night. And last night we were in a VC, a voice call, with the token creator, Vince, and, you know, some other people from the team, a lot of people from the community. This was held in their Telegram room, which if you're not a member of, you should join immediately. Anyway, and it was a lot of fun because all this pumping was going on. And while the pumping was going on, there were a bunch of other things going on, like burns, right? So here's kind of how it was playing out if you weren't there. Suddenly, the thing started kind of launching a little bit, right? And if you look back, and maybe I'll peek through real quick, but if you look back, you could see that there were a bunch of buys coming in from this same wallet, and they were humongous buys, one after the other, boom, 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 right? And then there were a bunch of big buys from other wallets. I don't know if that was FOMO. I'm not sure what was going on, right? Maybe some people were watching and saying, okay, this thing is about to moon. I better grab it now, right? That's the FOMO. Some people have speculated that possibly this was Vince himself, at least with the one wallet that was putting up a bunch of buys, and that he himself was attempting to move the chart, pump the chart a little bit, maybe create some FOMO, but just keep kind of the hype going. Now, I don't know if that's true or not true. He didn't deny or confirm it. I don't really care. As a matter of fact, I hope it was him. And the reason I say that is because, listen, probably the number one issue that projects have when they launch new projects or whatever is money. They run out of money. They're trying to sell NFTs. They're trying to do whatever they can do to make money to try to keep the project going, to build and to do things. And that's it really takes a lot of projects down, right? So I am not in anybody's pocket. I don't know these guys personally, but from what I have observed, I don't think money is an issue with the creator or any of his team or any of his friends or whatever. I don't think it's an issue. So if Vince and his buddies are able to pump this chart, I say thank you. Go for it. Beautiful strategy, beautiful plan, because the FOMO will actually happen, right? Other projects wish they could do this, okay? If you can, buy a bunch of the supply yourself, big humongous buys, get these huge green candles, get this thing really moving, right? And if you hit it just right and people are watching, right, they're going to want to jump in. And then once they jump in and the FOMO takes over, now you're getting all these green candles that you don't even have to really do yourself, because the rest of the community is kind of jumping in and wants part of this moon, wants part of this play. And it's a great strategy. As a matter of fact, it was kind of said, it's been said all along, actually, to me, from some people who, know Vince much better than I do, or at least have known of him and his other project, right? That this guy has got the financing with him and his network of people to really, really pump this thing. And if nobody else is buying it, they'll buy it themselves and pump it until people get the hint and start jumping in. And if that's what's going on, I have no problem with that at all. Again, thank you very much. But let me just go real quick. Let me take you down and show you. So today is the 8th, right? And even today, since I got home from work, we've had a few, come back down again, I'm sorry, had a few pretty big green candles. We're kind of moving again. Let me refresh this because I don't like these little dashes, and sometimes that goes away. It's kind of a glitch with Dex Tools. Yeah, there we go. See, that's much better. And I'll bring it back over here again. Yeah, we've had a little bouncing up and down. Since yesterday, obviously it ran way up, reached a new all-time high, okay? At the same time, Vince was burning tokens, ended up burning, it was doing like 10 million at a time at first, and everybody was like, oh, unbelievable. Ended up burning like 90 million tokens. And you can see in the total supply over here on the left, we're currently looking at 510 million tokens. There was 600 million tokens burned, 90 million, right? That's just crazy. That was breaking my heart, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, all that was going on. But then, obviously some people said, hey, this thing, that's enough money for me. Looked at their wallet and said, I'm going to take some profits at this point. I mean, this thing really, really just jumped up pretty high, made a new all-time high. Figuring, trading 101, what goes up must come down. It's going to come back down. So let me try to grab a little here. And definitely that happened, right? Came back down a little bit. But look where it came back down to. Okay, we had a wick all the way down to here. But look how fast that was bought right back up. This project, this community is so strong. Everyone has such great expectations and is so hopeful for what is going on here because they know the track record and they know the ability, right? I'm sorry if I'm rambling and I'm all over the place, but I'm actually really excited about this one. So anyway, they bought it right back up, and look at where we stayed. Well above where we were. This is where we were. Then it went crazy. So whatever happened, if that was Vince or whoever it was, it absolutely worked, right? Put us back up into this 10 cent range, and we stayed there for a little while, right? I guess it stayed there for a little while, and then people said, all right, I guess it's not going to jump up anymore. Let me take some more profits. Came back down, right? Did not come down that far, right? I mean, I don't have a retracement on this, but, came down, I don't know, what's that, 55, 60% from where we were when we went up, right? Came back down to here and held on, boom. So now we're in this 9 cent range. It's just holding like crazy. And then, this being the 30-minute chart, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.5 hours ago, boom, another green candle. And here we go, on the way up again. And this time, I am streaming, and I caught it. And here we are, back up at 10 cents, 0.1047. And I'm really curious to see whether or not we're going to do another all-time high today. I would love to see this thing. I think that if we see this thing all of a sudden take off and hit 15 cents, 20 cents, I think the FOMO goes crazy. I really do. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, and I'm certainly not a fortune teller. That's just my opinion. So anyway, let's look real quick. This is the 8th, so let me go back to the 7th, which was yesterday. And I don't know about the exact timestamp, but we'll just see. We'll start looking through at some of the buys and some of the sells, to be honest with you, right? $3,000 buy. And that was actually nothing compared to some of the buys that came in. We had some big sells too. We had like 7,000 worth of sells right here. Again, people see it running up. They want to take profits. That's what you should do in trading, right? $3,000 buy, $1,400 buy. 18, 1750, 900. I might be skipping by some big ones. 1800, 4200, almost $4,300 buy, and then right after that, a sell. Nope, different wallet. Right after that, a sell of 46.69. Right. Look at this one. $30,000 buy. And you see the little whale, right? Here's another $6,000 buy. $1,500 buy. $1,400 buy. $6,000 buy. Look at all these right in a row, okay? Off the back of, however, a $31,000, $27,000, $2,600 sell, right? But those came after all these, right? 500, 900, 500, 3,000, 900, 3,000, 2,000, 2,000, 6,000, 3,000, 6,000, 3,000. And if I keep going, I don't want to take you forever, but if I keep going through this, you'll see some of these. Here's a $12,000 buy, right? Let me just scroll down to the whales. $15,000 buy. $15,000 sell. And then right after that, somebody scooped it up. Thank you. Thank you for the low price and grabbed it right up, right? Let me find some more whales. I love looking at these whale buys because I feel like I'll never be able to do this in my life. Anyway, that might have been it. Those were all the big ones, right? And that's what happened, and that's where it brought us. And this is what's going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to see these big, huge buys come in. It is very, very early. We are told, and I wasn't involved in Zelda2, but we are told that looking at these charts and comparing the charts and comparing the time frames, right? What are we, 3 days in or something like that? This one so far is outperforming what that one did. And if you remember, that one did a 300x in 9 days or 12 days or something like that, right? So far, we are ahead of that pace. Does that mean that we're going to do what that other one did or that it's going to pass what that other one did? Again, no guarantees in that, right? But it's good to know. It's really good to know. We've got a lot more going for us this time than they had that time. Right now, we're going into a bull market. Some say we're already in the bull market. Back then, they were heading head first into a bear market. COVID happened, right? Nobody expected it. Went up like crazy, came back down like everything else. So there's just a lot more. And we've got the hype, right? We've got the legend of what Legend of Zelda. I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to do that. The legend of what Zelda2 did back then. There's so much happening right here, and I'm really, really, really anxious to see what goes on tonight, what goes on over the next week. I think this one is going to be a real powerhouse. I think it's going to be crazy. Is it going to reach 300x? If you ask the team, they're shooting for higher than that. So that's good. I love the positivity. All right. That's it. Just a quick little whatever. One day I would love, and I don't know if it's even possible, I would love to interview, and you know how I love to do interviews. If you guys have seen any, I'm sure you've seen my interviews. It's really what I like to do the most. I would love to interview somebody from this team, whether it is Strange, the dev, or Vince himself. I don't ask big technical questions. I'm not a big technical guy, right? I just kind of like to know some of the personal stuff. What are the goals here? What are we doing? I know that we're rescuing dogs from kill shelters, right? And being able to move them to a shelter where they can sit back and wait to see if someone will take them home, but they're not going to be killed simply because there's no room for them anymore. This is what this project is doing. It's really, really close to my heart. And I want to talk about those things. I want to talk about a lot of those things. So, who knows? Who knows if they'll actually do it? I mean, Vince, from what I understand, doesn't really talk to much of anybody and doesn't even answer his DMs. So why would he talk to little old me? But maybe somebody on the team. We want to get him on here. We want to know. Those of you who don't know about Zelda 2.0, it's a great way to get the message out. So I'll do what I can to try to make that happen. But I can't promise you. In the meantime, I'll just bring you the information as I get it. All right, y'all. I know this was a lot longer than it probably should have been, but thanks for hanging in, and I will talk to y'all later. Ciao.